Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Today, we're going to be doing some Pittsburgh Pirates franchise here in the month of September. After last episode, I looked around and realized that I'd only done one stream in MLB The Show for Pittsburgh Pirates franchise. And I was kind of shocked by that. I usually plan on trying to do more than that, but just haven't really found good times to stream, I guess. Haven't really had time to do a lot of spring trainings, which is a natural time to stream. And so today, I want to get some MLB Major League action with the squad here as we prepare for the playoffs, hoping for a better showing in the postseason than we had last year for sure. I think we definitely have a better team than we had last year, no doubt about it. And so we'll see how long this stream is. Pretty much what my plan is. At the start of the stream, we're going to figure out who we want to be our September call-ups. So we'll probably see a couple of MLB debuts. And then additionally, just some critical situations as we head through the month. If by the time we get to this Milwaukee series, which is the final series of the season, and there's a chance that we don't win the division, I might make that its own episode, like playing against the Brewers for the division. But if we have the division in hand, or if something goes horribly wrong and the Brewers have the division in hand somehow by that series, then we'll just go through it as normal and we'll finish off the season here today. So, first order of business. It's September 1st. We've got September call-ups. Who are we going to call up here for this team? Now, there are no easy call-ups. We have only 27 people on our 40-man roster, and they're all at the MLB level. One's injured. So it's going to be adding people to our 40-man roster. If you want to go on who deserves it the most, the first guy you got to talk about is Pete Good. He's been pitching insane. In his 153 innings, he's under a 2.3 ERA, barely, but he is. And he's under a 1.0 whip at 0.98. Only 8-7, which is kind of surprising. I guess our AAA team isn't all that good, but 17 quality starts. He has a complete game shutout this year, 3.5 WAR. He absolutely deserves to be somebody that should be called up. Now, do we have room for him? I honestly think that for the month of September, he could be our 5th starter in the rotation. If you look here, Bubba Chandler's just not really been pitching all that well this year for us. 4.81 ERA just isn't really what you want it to be. His strikeout rate's actually pretty dang good. He's allowing a decent amount of home runs, though. His FIP is better than his ERA, but I think, especially because once we get to the playoffs, we're going to be a 4-man rotation anyway. Let's see if Pete Good can make a bit of noise here at the end of the season as our 5th starter instead of Bubba Chandler. I think he is the best combination of actually ready to make the start alongside just producing. Next up, in terms of our hitter for the promotion here, if you're going based on most deserving, based on how they've performed this year, it's Robert Eckert. How's it going? CP3EP. I don't know how. Nice to have you back here on the channel for a live stream. First one in a while. Robert Eckert. Let's go ahead and talk about what he's done. First of all, his contact versus right-handed pitching is in the 90s. We don't have anybody. That's the highest contact versus right-handed pitching on the team. In terms of what he's done at the AAA level, he has nearly a 900 OPS. He's hit 20 homers. Average is over 300. On-base percentage over 370. Slugging over 500. I mean, he's hitting really, really well. what would be his role? Should we call him up? Just like I guess a DH, maybe play some first base as well. But in terms of the hitter who's just playing the best, it's easily Robert Eckert. Robert Robinson Brown also, of course, has a case at this point. He's greatly improved over what he was last year. His OPS is just under 800 here, and he's been a good asset out in the field. He's more of a guy that could actually like play in the field, right? Whereas Eckert would just be come in and hit for us. It's tough deciding which one we want to do. Unfortunately, I forgot. If you want these players to be playoff eligible, you have to promote them on August 31st. You can't do it on September 1st. So neither of these guys will be playoff eligible, unfortunately. So it's more just who do we want to see play this year. And I think in this case, we're just going to give it to Eckert. He's just been an awesome hitter. So there you have it. Robert Eckert will be our second promotion, and that puts us at 28. Let us go ahead and go with this. I just want to make sure, so it's Jared Jones. So Pete Good should have some time to go ahead and get some energy back in case he just pitched. So no worries there. Is Robert Eckert going to be put into the everyday lineup? I just don't think he is. That's why with the hitter, I was just more focused on a guy who could come in occasionally, because our lineup's pretty much set for the postseason, and it's going to be this one. So, and like I said, the guy wouldn't have been eligible, unfortunately, anyway, because of how the game works, and I forget to promote these guys on August 31st oftentimes. So, with that being said, we have our guys set. We'll make sure to hop into Pete Good's MLB debut here against Washington. But let's give Robert Eckert some time here today, shall we? See him make his MLB debut. Let's go with our alternate roads. I like them a lot better. We'll go, of course, starting Jared Jones. We are going to give Sweeney a rest day and allow Robert Eckert to make his MLB debut. Let's put a pause on the music here as we get ready to start up the game. I'd appreciate a like here on the stream if you could. Helps get it out to more people. But let's see one of the most promising hitters in the entire farm system based on his contact versus right-handed pitching alone. Let's see how he does in his first taste of major league action. Rocking the number 14 for the squad here. Going to get some run at first base. Taking a look at where he is. He's technically our 5th ranked prospect, number 11 by MLB. Farm system still looking healthy after all these promotions, which you absolutely love to see. First things first, let's make sure we're not actually in charge of the squad. And let's get to some Robert Eckert. Nothing doing for either side here in the first inning. And the first two go down here in the second as well. And that'll bring up Robert Eckert. Going against George Kirby here, who's certainly off to a hot start to this game. Eckert's the number 2 first base prospect. I'm trying to think who's the number 1. Chopper. Over to second, and he's out with some ease. Jackson Holiday. You'd think if Gunnar Henderson left, they'd probably move Jackson to short, but we're so far in the future, maybe Jackson's just gotten so used to second that he stays there. Who is McKenzie on our prospect list? He's one of the pitchers that we drafted a couple seasons ago that was like that's been sitting in A-ball. He moved up to Double-A this year because he finally reached 60 overall, but he's one of like the super long-term. Oh, my camera just freaked out on me. Let's see if I can get it to correct. There we go. Yeah, he's just a super long-term pitcher. He's not coming up anytime soon. How's it going, Von Rye? Happy to have you in chat. We are in an MLB debut here for Eckert. See if he could do something here with his second at-bat. 1-0 ball game here. Into the fifth. We saw, I think, a lot of low-scoring games last episode. Starting pitcher or relief pitcher. McKenzie is a starter. We don't really have any long-term relief prospects. Most of our relievers that we've drafted have started off pretty high overall, which is certainly nice for a reliever. So far, nothing doing for Robert Eckert. We'll get at least one more chance. Maybe not more than that with how this game's going. I mean, Jared Jones just went 6 innings of scoreless pitching. Doing a Marlins franchise off camera to test some things out. Nice. 2-way generational player. That is definitely an accomplishment. 7th inning for Jared Jones. He's doing awesome. Has better pitching stats. Yeah, Neil Dorsey was definitely not a pitcher. First, at least. He ended up being a solid pitcher. I think he even ended up winning the Cy Young. I'm pretty sure, didn't he? In Coors, no less. But Neil Dorsey was definitely a hitter more than a pitcher. Didn't see him while scouting, so I wonder if they discovered him. So Discovery Generationals are a thing now. I haven't found one myself yet, but I've heard about them. Ever since they removed the requirement that a generational player is the #1 overall MLB rank, they can now be discovered or somewhere kind of in the top 20 range. I haven't seen them be like ranked, but like 100 or something like that. Gonna be a hitless debut for Eckert, unfortunately, by the looks of it, unless our offense explodes. That makes sense. Navarro was the closer. Yep, Navarro was the closer that we took. I would never have a closer as the #1 prospect in baseball, but his combination of overall and potential is really awesome. You've seen a MLB ranked 38. That's probably the lowest I've heard about it. Jared Jones out for the 8th, and he's starting to show some cracks. Why would you bring it? Like, just let him do 7, man. That's unfortunate. Jared Jones was pitching awesome. They brought him out for the 8th. And it cost us the game. Love the Discovery guys the most. I mean, I really like Discovery just because you never know where they're going to go. So you can kind of play a game of, do I let him go for another round? Is he going to get sniped? Yeah, as soon as he came out and did a single and then a walk to start the 8th, take him out at that point for sure. Ends up taking a loss in what was an awesome first 7 innings. But a hitless debut, unfortunately, for Robert Eckert. And I don't know how many at-bats he's going to get because he's not, of course, going to be inserted into our everyday lineup. So next thing, let's look at Pete Good's MLB debut. That's a pretty big one. Pete Good is an awesome. I want to do Pete Good's first before we do any more critical situations. We pick up a win here with Thomas Coyle. I probably want to see Coyle pitch at some point because it was unfortunate last last game was unfortunate where he didn't even last 2 innings against the Braves. And I don't want that to be kind of the last taste we have of him prior to the postseason, you know. Every other generational I've seen, yeah, I've seen like late teens is probably the latest I've seen. I would love a generational discovery player, though. Can you imagine getting a generational player with like your 3rd or 4th pick? That would be insane. Pete Good, a much anticipated MLB debut. If it weren't for the existence of a guy like Thomas Coyle, he would be like the top tier of pitching prospects for sure. Been a long time waiting. We were very patient, I think, especially with pitchers, mostly because we haven't really needed to promote pitchers early. You know, if we had a terrible rotation, I bet Pete Good would have made his debut long ago. But our rotation, it's tough to crack. Bubba Chandler's just had a rough year this year, and so we're giving him a chance here. But of course, going to be a rookie next year. He's definitely earned a shot at being in our rotation next year. Now, what that means for, I don't know, does that mean we're moving off of Bubba? Does that mean we're maybe moving off of Mitch Keller or Jared Jones? I don't know. Let's wait until we get to the offseason to worry about that. But Pete Good is going to be in our rotation next year. He was just so good at AAA this year. You can't keep him down there. Plus, he's got the immaculate flow, which never hurts. Yeah, dude's built. Dude's rocked up in the lower half, that's for sure. Dude lifts. Started off low overall. Yeah, I mean, he was 96 potential, but he wasn't the highest. His overall, I think it was low 60s, if I remember right. It's been a while at this point, and we've drafted so many dang pitchers. But he's consistently been good as he's developed. First major league strikeout. Had him swinging in the dirt. Took him 6 pitches to get the first 2 outs here. Now going against James Wood. Nice to have a lefty back into the rotation as well, of course. That was the downside of the offseason we had last year, so we'd have a all-righty rotation for this season. It's turned out to work out for us pretty well. Oh, man, a generous call down low. The slider just clips that lower edge, and we get back-to-back Ks in his first inning for a guy who doesn't really have a good strikeout per 9 number. Leaning toward a Nationals Expos draft only. The Nationals are always a very intriguing franchise team. They have too many like young pieces in place for the style that I like to do, but a draft only. So there has been some questions about how much longer Pittsburgh Pirates franchise is going to last, what my next series might be. Nice job by Robles. And obviously, some of that depends on what we do this year in the postseason. If we don't win the championship, there's no way I'm stopping Pirates franchise. But if we do, I have been thinking about maybe doing a second series on MLB The Show, because if you recall, when the game came out, I put out a poll. Do you guys want to see a franchise that would allow me to do free agency but have some house rules, or would you like me to do a draft only, which is, of course, the staple here on my channel. It's still my favorite way to do franchise modes in general. And I'm thinking about maybe doing a draft only franchise if we win the championship this year. I'm not sure which one I'll do yet, because I am planning right now to play College Football 26 when it comes out. I already have the kind of rebuild I want to do there. I don't want to spoil it, but I think it's going to be a very fun idea. More challenging than Vanderbilt, which I ended up finishing early. Which I'm mad at myself for doing that. So I want to do an idea that I'll be committed to long term for College Football 26. I'm also considering maybe playing that game. I was considering doing it last year. I ended up just going CPU versus CPU, but I might actually do it this year. Just because it's college football, and until last year's game, it hadn't been out for a decade, and I wasn't one of the guys that played College Football 14 like all the way up until College Football 25 came out. I did play College Football 13 until College Football 25 came out on my old Xbox 360, which I no longer have, because I liked the scouting, or not the scouting, the recruiting in NCAA 13 more than 14's. It took really long, but I just had, oh baby, the first home run allowed by Pika. Like, it would take like me multiple hours just to, if I was only doing recruiting, to get through like a season. But I liked it more than the 14 system of just dumping points into a guy. I think College Football 25 did a pretty good job with it. I don't think it was perfect, but I found it interesting the way that recruiting worked. And I was having fun with it. I did a team builder series. Oh, I'm a little bit behind. I got burnt out on NCAA 14. Yeah. I mean, the gameplay on 14 was so much better than 13. But I'm kind of like I don't know how to describe this, like a graphics snob, I guess. So like I could never like get into NCAA for the gameplay just because the graphics were 10 years behind, you know. I wish I wasn't so much of a graphics snob, but it's like that way in any game I play. Like, if the graphics aren't top tier, no matter how good the game is, I'm probably not going to play it. I wish I wasn't that way, like I said, but I am. So I was only playing college football for the recruiting, which like I said, I liked better in 13. Got a 1-1 ball game here. David Yan does his favorite thing, and that's draw walks. Did a team builder series. So I'm considering doing, so my idea, I'll give a little bit of a sneak peek. It is to do a team builder for College Football 26. But I'm not saying, I'm sure somebody else has done a rebuild like the one I'm planning, but it's not your typical team builder rebuild, I'll say that. That's my plan. If it ends up being what I'm doing, I'll have to see, because I changed what I was planning on doing on MLB The Show 25 once every change they made was revolving around free agency, right? So as information comes out about College Football 26, I might change my mind on what I'm doing, but I feel like I have a pretty good set plan of what I want to do with that game. Hey, Bozo, how's it going? School's over. That's always a good sign. Happy weekend. Hassel hitting below the Mendoza line this season. Guess there's a reason he's hitting 9th. But basically, I'm not saying I need to be done with MLB The Show by the time July hits. But I'll definitely want to have at least kind of slowed down on the game. I've already kind of slowed down. I went from like every other day episodes to now maybe once every 3 days episodes with the Pirates. I just kind of needed to slow down. I was feeling a little burnt out, and I didn't want to feel burnt out about the Pirates. And slowing down the series just that little bit has helped a lot. But one more year. That's not a bad place to be. One more. Pete Good ahead 0-2 here. Had a great first matchup against the top of this order. See if he can repeat it.
2-2.
Count evens up now. I would love a double play here. But yeah, that just to give you a little bit of a who scored for us. It was a Victor Robles solo homer in the first. So just a couple of solo homers. My favorite way to watch baseball is the solo homers, I'll tell you. But once we get to that point, I'll probably just maybe create a poll on what people would rather see, a continuation of Pirates or a new series. Obviously, there's always a bit of a viewer bump at the beginning of a new series, so selfishly, I wouldn't mind that. But I also want to make sure that we get a good ending to this Pirates journey that we've had, for sure. That's going to be my top priority, no doubt about it. He's really caring when it comes to watch home runs. He has certainly hit a decent amount when we've watched compared to what he does in simulation, that's for sure. Getting through the third here, no damage done. Got some runners on, but dealt with them nicely. Double play by Billy Fink. Looking at our pitching stats, it's easy to tell why we're one of the best teams in baseball. The only thing we're not first in is hits per 9. We're all the way down as second. See, it's been a very tough pitching rotation to crack. Even with Chandler having nearly a 5 ERA. I mean, it wasn't that close to 5, to be fair. 4.81 ERA. Still just the best pitching team in baseball because the top 4 have been so incredibly good. How is Jan doing? Comparable to last season. He hasn't really improved much offensively, but he's an awesome defender, which is something you love to see. There's the third strikeout. I hadn't seen one since inning 1. His throwing needs a little work. I think his throwing, because we were training his throwing every year until this year when I switched to, it was either plate skills or power. I think it was power for Jan. But, and if we take a look at Jan here. No errors still. That's still the case for him this year. So, awesome defender. And you're getting good enough offense that when you combine those two things together, he's had some more home runs than last year. The average is down, though. The OPS is down. But Jan's been right where I wanted him to be for a guy who's still very, very early in his career. Assuming his potential is still 95, which is where we drafted him at, he's got about 8 more overall to improve. And if he can do most of that, improving his average. Because he's got some of the best discipline on the team. In fact, I think he might have the best discipline on the team. On average, how many games per season do you think you're watching? So I don't watch that many full games. I do a lot more critical situations or watching a game from a player's perspective, like we're doing here with Be Good. So, I mean, my pace isn't going to work for everybody, but I sit down and I go for a month. And whatever I do in the month is whatever I do. Sometimes it's watching a full game and then a player lock game. Sometimes it's only going through critical situations. Sometimes it's a variety of player lock games, quote unquote player lock, right? Because CPU versus CPU doesn't allow for full player lock. But it's not a lot. It's only a few full games. Still 1-1 here. The offense, man, not doing so well. Brady House homered.
No, that's a ball.
Curveball called for ball one. Though it most certainly wasn't. He's not going to call those on the inside, Pete. You got to go somewhere else. This is a diving play made by Jazz Chisholm, and the throw is there. I love Jazz Chisholm, man. He's been so good in sim, in spotlight games. Beast. You do critical situations too. I used to watch one game sim 10. That'd give you about 15 games watched. Somewhere in that neighborhood. That's more than I watch. And the thing is, everybody's pace is different. Some people, the way I play franchise mode, it's way too fast. Oh, come on, dude. This guy's pinching our boy a decent bit here. I guess trying to get some offense going this game or something. It's kind of a personal thing. I think this is a pretty good pace to go. I could easily go slower. The problem, I get so excited to get the guys that I draft into the team. So I want to get the guys progressing. That's really the only reason I don't go slower. Because I could easily have fun watching more games and watching more of the season. But when I draft really exciting players, I want to see them progress and get to the point where they're on the major league squad. And so that's ultimately kind of what drives my pace the most, I think, say more than anything. Once I get through the draft, I just want the... Yeah. I mean, y'all have seen me... There have been times when I've just even combined August, September into a single episode because I'm just like, nope, I want my rookies in. When you draft a Billy Fink, when you draft a Thomas Coyle, when you draft a awesome prospect that not only has great upside, but also has early MLB ETAs, you just want to get that guy on the field. Tried your method of scouting with Discovery and it just never worked. It's not consistent. You're not we had 1 year where our Discovery was so trash. Discovery was just awful. But if you have a good Discovery year, you're gonna have an insane draft. That's just kind of how the method works. Oh, there we go. Nice throw by Jan. Speaking of his defense. Other methods as far as ranges and attributes works well. Yeah, even if you're not a believer in Discovery, the other things will still help you for sure. But I will say, for me, Discovery is like the number one thing. and getting good drafts.
That's a ball.
I mean, to be fair though, like our best players, Jan and Fink, they aren't discovery guys, right? You still, to me the two keys to good drafting is identifying the best players in the draft for your round one pick, and discovery. Those are the two pillars for me, really. And when I've been able to do those things, I've had awesome drafts. And when I haven't, I've had okay drafts. With the White Sox, I watched very little until some of the prospects started to develop. Yeah. For me, I like to establish a baseline of how bad it is at the start, but that baseline doesn't need to consist of like 20 games, right? You know how bad you are after watching your team play like 3 or 4 times. And then you're like, okay, yeah, I know we're bad. Let's move on. I'm not meaning to be watching our offense here.
That's ball 4.
Caught stealing, unfortunate. Still 1-1, man. What's up with our offense? I'm not loving seeing this right before the playoffs. I feel like we had a similar thing where right before the playoffs last year, our offense kind of slowed down. Also, you have a generational player follow you? Yeah, I was hoping we had that this draft with Nick Herrera. Turns out his ratings were affected anyway, but still a 75 overall. What was he, 92 potential or something? Or 74, whatever it was. I still would have loved picking that guy over the guy that we took. The guy we took wasn't bad, but it was probably our weakest first-round pick, which made sense, obviously, because it was at 26, where all of our other first-round picks were like 10 or higher. Young's going to fly out here. So Pete Good continues to have a really strong MLB debut. Doing better than Eckert. Not to, dog on Eckert or anything. That's not my goal. He's at 68 pitches. His stamina is at 73. So we could see him, if he gets through this 6th, come out for the 7th. I'm not 100% sure, though. We will have to see. Obviously, the first game we watched, going too deep with the pitcher, ended up costing us the game.
No, that's a ball.
If he had more run support, I wouldn't mind bringing him out for the 7th, but I think I would prefer this be his final inning. Just give him the 6 innings with, cross your fingers, only 1 run allowed if he can retire King here. I had a high BB per 9 and low K per 9. See, I feel like Pete Good gets a decent amount of strikeouts when we watch, but he does not get them in sim, which makes sense. But he does produce really well. Which goes to show, I love high strikeouts per 9 pitchers, but ultimately they're just not all that important for sim success. Walks per 9 affects it too much? Absolutely, it does. It's like too predictable. Like Mitch Keller, the paragon of consistency in this franchise. Awesome every year. What is he? He's a walks per 9 pitcher. I could have told you at the beginning of the franchise Mitch Keller was going to be awesome. And he has been, which I'm very happy about. He's getting older, though, so we'll see how long he will be awesome. My White Sox franchise has had 0 generational players and bad draft classes the entire... That sucks. I've luckily, in the 3 franchises I've run, or I guess actually I've run 4 franchises on my channel. All my series, they've certainly had bad years, but overall the draft classes have been pretty dang good. But especially if you have like a couple bad years at the start of your franchise for draft classes, that can really set things back. All right, we got the top of the order back up here, bottom of the 6th. Can we please do something? My guys with like 900 OPS here. Nope. Victor Robles, to be fair, probably shouldn't be hitting 2nd in our lineup anymore. I might need to change that. He is not as good as he was last year. I put him at the 2 spot based on what he did last year. Not great. Your first 4 picks for your Tampa Bay franchise are all starting in year 3. Hey, that's good. It's a good timeline for sure. Trying to think. My first picks. Jan obviously starting. I can't remember who was in what draft. I got to be honest with you guys. Can anyone remember who else was in the first draft class? Albert Sweeney was. He's playing first base for us now. Was Pete good in our first? He was our first draft class? Wow. Took him, I guess he was like a 60 or 61 overall or something, right? Interesting. Yeah, Pete good. That's right. He was like our best discovery pick that year. Took him a little longer, but obviously worth it for the 96 potential. Buford Kingman was our first draft class, right? He debuted this season. So I didn't have a lot of guys starting after 3 years. And that out's going to be the end of the day for Pete Good, it looks like. I don't know why you wouldn't just let him finish off the 7th. They wanted a righty in against House, I guess. Also, House homered off of Good. Brown was not our first draft. He was... Pirates finally got some runs aboard, which is nice. Either our second or our third. Class A got homered off of, but still picks up the save. Ever notice the draft pitchers with funky gloves are pretty good? I've definitely noticed, like, when I go to customize my prospects every year in the off season, that some of my best specs usually have that terrible, terrible smiley face glove. I can't stand that glove. I always change off of it whenever they have it. Robles is our player of the game. He went 2 for 4 and picked up a couple of RBI. The Flames one is also terrible. I can't stand either of those gloves. Some of the other more unique ones I'm down for, but those two are just awful. All right, let's go critical situations for the rest of this episode. Carl Roberts is injured. He's not that important. Pedro Ponce. We have a 4-4 ball game. Let's hop in. Pedro Ponce up to the plate. Yeah, the smiley face and the Flames, ugly gloves. Do people, like, why are they in the game? Or do people actually wear that glove in the MLB? Or is it just for, like, Road to the Show memes or something? Like, I can understand, like, a young fan of, like, Road to the Show wanting that glove for their player, you know? But you don't need it in franchise mode. It's kind of a silly-looking glove. Although Mr. Hurricane, didn't he put the smiley glove on Joe Michael? Still the best pitcher I've seen this game generate. Sweeper high and inside. Ponce bit at it. Going up against Lucas Sims here. Ponce 1 for 3 today. And that's not a pitch. I mean, I guess I could see why he looked at it because he just had one go outside the zone that he hacked at, but still well inside the zone there. He's a rookie. Got to give him some slack. See if there's another situation. We got Class A. Anytime there's a critical situation with Class A, I hop in. Got 15 viewers right now. Appreciate y'all hopping in with me on this Friday afternoon to get some Pirates baseball. Pirates up by 2, but a couple of runners allowed here by Class A. He definitely allows some runners. But the one thing you got to love about him is his insane pitching clutch. Just like Jones and Skeens, you can feel comfortable with him getting out of a jam, although he's behind 3-0 here to Alonso. I almost don't mind letting Alonso go, though, which is just looks like what he's doing. He was trying to get him to hack it, stuff outside the zone. Alonso is obviously a very, very dangerous hitter. Probably rather go against Cam Smith. What are Cam Smith's ratings here? I mean, let's just compare. That was the guy that was at the plate that we just pitched around. Yeah, he's pretty good. This is the guy we just let. Yeah. Plus, you get the force out at every base. But now we got to start pitching strikes, homie. I mean, these are just off, but you got to throw something in the strike zone. He's been so good for us this year. This is almost starting to feel like a blown save, though. Behind 3-0. Dude, you got to throw a strike here just to calm the nerves a bit. Walks in a run, and we're only up 1. He's thrown at least 8 straight balls. Not good. Make it 9. Class A only has 2 blown saves on the year. I think he's about to get number 3. Right on the edge of the zone. This one was called for a strike. Once you get 1, you can start to get others. Come on. Ooh. Cranked foul. Taps. And that's not going to be a throw home. We're tied. Yeah, needed a strikeout or a pop-up into a double play. Didn't get it. Termar didn't feel confident getting the throw home for the out either. Class A, 3rd blown save of this season. Unfortunate. But now Kerry Carpenter comes in to try and walk it off. Bob Gomez, one of our many lefty bullpens that we've drafted. I don't know why every good bullpen player generated by the game is a lefty. Certainly, or it's obviously not that way, but it seems that way at times. Gets ahead here. Let's force some extras.
That's a ball.
Not a bad 0-2 pitch there. Bob Gomez. In there for strike 3. We are headed to extras in this one. Bob Gomez looked like he was waiting for the ball there. I don't know if he knew the inning was over. Let's see if there's another situation. Gomez back. Let's watch some more Bob. Another one of our rookies. Astros connects are too bland. They're definitely not my favorites. I don't think they're necessarily bad either, though. Kind of look like the Astros kind of thing around their lettering. Kind of looks like some of the Suns stuff that they do in some of their unis. Trying to come away with a victory here. 2 runners on, no outs. Top of the order is up for Houston. Swinging on that one outside. We get another strikeout for Bob Gomez. 1 down. And now a double play away from picking up the victory. Getting that lefty-lefty matchup here. You love to see it. .335 on the season for Will Benson. Pretty dang good. Diving, but can't quite glove it is Jazz Chisholm. The bases are loaded here in the bottom of the 10th. Still a double play away from potentially ending this one. Bob Gomez up to 17 pitches. What's his stamina? Whoops. Don't want to interrupt him mid-pitch. Just look at Bob Gomez's stats here. See what we're dealing with. A 77 overall. Only 19 stamina. I thought I remembered him having pretty dang low stamina. Pretty good numbers across the board. He has low walks per 9, though. Though that affects more simulating than in-game play, in my experience. Getting ahead here of Alvarez. He's grounded into a double play already. You've done it once, you can do it again. 0-2 pitch. Another solid choice for an 0-2. I like his choices here. Well, maybe a little bit too outside. Going outside again with that 12-6 curve. Alvarez, obviously a very dangerous hitter. Popped up. Giving chase is Adele. Oh, that's Robles playing center. I like that arm more. And he got him on the tag. Victor Robles with a snipe from center ends this game. That was awesome. That's the one thing I'm not going to like about having Brown as our long-term center fielder, man. His arm is so terrible. Like, sniping players like that from outfield, I love it. It's one of my favorite things in baseball. You're just not going to get it with Robinson Brown, but it's fine. Victor Robles, what a freaking throw to end that game. Nice throw there from Fink. They're wrapping around the base runner. Woo. That was awesome. I almost accidentally hit end stream because usually when I'm watching critical situations, this is the part where I end the recording. That would have been a little sad. All right. Let's continue on. Caleb Roberts is back. Let's give Class A a chance to redeem himself against a division rival. He's always on with these base runners on, man. This dude's allowing base runners. This time, I'm confident, though. The clutch is going to come up clutch, for lack of a better word. I mean, it's an accurately named rating. No one out here. If this guy walks this guy on 4 pitches, though, I'm exiting out because I'm just going to believe I'm cursing Class A to not have the ability to throw strikes. Not going to happen there. It's the cutter. That's what I love about watching him pitch is he's always on the edge. Now, unfortunately, depending on what umpire you have, you're going to get a lot of balls. But he just doesn't leave stuff over the middle. Has come back to haunt him here a couple times in this episode now, though. He's not getting the calls. They're just... And then right I said that he left something over the middle, but it was 3-1. Bush was ready for something in the zone. Wasn't ready for the fastball, though. Popped up. Joe Adele snags it. Out number 1, and they are tagging from second. That makes sense. Catchers' catching animations are so weird. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I honestly haven't given much thought to it, if I'm being honest. I'll have to take a look here.
1-0.
Class A is not liking this ump here. It's definitely looks very easy. Nice cutter there. Beautiful pitching. Beautiful pitching. We're back, baby. 1-2. Double playing out of here for Connor Norby.
2-2.
Has some pop to his game for sure. Or at least he does in the base game. I don't know if he does at this point. We're in 29 at this point. Who knows what his ratings are. He's 0 for 3 today. He's hitting 6 for a Cubs team that isn't all that good. But they have a chance to steal this one in the top of the 9th. Norby is being annoyingly good at fouling some of these pitches off. Oh, upstairs. Reaching for that 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Class A needs one more here. All right, we'll take that call.
0-1.
Just barely clipping that at. See, some of these I'm like, I wouldn't mind if you called that one a ball, but some of these that are such obvious strikes. Couldn't be me. I could never be an umpire. I umpired one softball game. My high school job was for my city's Parks and Rec department, so I was like a basketball referee and
1-2.
I did like soccer reffing. I taught a tennis camp. Didn't do much baseball, but I reffed one softball game or umped one softball game.
2-2.
And I knew it was something I could never do like more than when I was needed on occasion. 2-2. Oh man. I thought that was gonna be the winner right there. But Ballesteros got some contact on it. Foul once again. Some of these foul balls, like I have foul ball tendency all the way down, and you'll still get these at bats where people are just fouling stuff off.
That's the ball. Full count.
Oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me with that BS. That was the game right there.
Take your base.
Class A just pitched 2 game-winning pitches, man. This guy needs to go get another job. Where's the zone if you're not calling either of those strikes? Where is the zone? It was on 2 completely opposite ends of the freaking strike zone, and he didn't call either of them. And earlier in that at-bat, he called that slider that was even more out than that one. The exact same pitch. It was more out, and he called it a strike in the same at-bat. Oh my gosh. What a trash umpire. I cannot believe this, dude. There we go. We gets the save anyway. Just took him a few more pitches. Nice job for Clase for getting 2 saves in one game. I mean, great stuff from him. Gameplay is so realistic, right? Oh. Didn't matter anyway. In the end, Clase just said, why don't you watch me do it again? Thomas Coyle. Great game from him. He continues to just be awesome. Pretty sure he's got Rookie of the Year locked up. I actually want to see where those rankings are. If we were to go to awards. So Jazz is actually in second place for MVP this year. That's crazy. He's not going to win it over Riley. Riley just is better all around. Thomas Coyle is in second place for Cy Young, dude. But Spencer Strider is 192 strikeouts. He's not going to catch him. Oh, excuse me. Jeez. Emmanuel Clase is about to win reliever of the year. Rookie of the year yet. Thomas Coyle. No surprise there. Xavier Isaac finally a rookie. He was somebody I thought about trading for early on in the franchise series. All right. Where are we at? We're at like an hour and 5. Let's So we've gained another half game over Milwaukee up to this point. Let's do one more critical situation. I don't know if I care to watch a Tamar Johnson critical situation. We lose that game. I want it to be like a cooler one. We have 29 people on our roster now. Who needs to go down? Man, everybody's on a cold streak right before the playoffs. I don't love to see that. Who shouldn't be here? Bay can go down to AAA. Oh, I just accidentally put him on waivers. Whoops. That's what I get for being stupid. AAA wasn't that good this year, unfortunately. AA not either. Like early on in this series, our AA team was winning the championship like every year. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Honestly, even if we lose Bay, it's not like the worst thing ever. Okay, Robert Eckert. Hey, no hits in his MLB debut, but could he come through for us in this one? A chance for Robert Eckert to make a statement. How's Robert been doing? How many at-bats has he gotten up to this point? He's only had 11 at-bats, so you can't really... Whoever we promoted as our hitter for September just wasn't going to end up having much. We got 2 outs, and the bases are loaded. Could this be the first big-time moment in the career of Robert Eckert? Trying to make a name for himself before next year when he could have a much bigger role on the team, should one open up. But he's behind 0-2 after looking at that one right down the middle. Walker hits him. Now Pittsburgh is down by only 1. Victor Robles. He's a home run shy of 20. Just saying. Could get to 20 right here. Only a .215 average with runners in scoring position for Robles. But he's had a lot of moments in these games where we've watched where he's come through for us in the clutch. Hitting leadoff today for some reason. He's got a hit already in this game. That was hittable, but fouled off. 100th career win for George Kirby. Oh, Robles hits it out to left center. That's going to score a few, at least 2. And the third comes across as well. Victor Robles does it again. A 3-run double. I said he was only 1 away from 20 home runs. He was also 1 away from 20 doubles. Not even close. Echo gets beamed and then gets across home plate shortly thereafter. And the Pirates take the lead now 7-5 for Brian Reynolds.
Ball 1. Counts 1-0.
He's got 90, I think, like, he started at 99. I think he's at like 97 or 96 now. Everything for Reynolds has gone down by like 2 or 3 this year. So see there on the bottom, Pirates clinch their second consecutive NL Central title. So the final series against Milwaukee will not matter. Dodgers clinched their 8th consecutive division title. No surprise there. I can't believe what the Dodgers did in the offseason. I want to play them so badly in the playoffs this year. It's not going to be in round 1, though, I don't think. So we got to actually win a playoff series this year. Which I fully believe we are going to do. If anything else, I think our pitching has just been too good this year, honestly. And once we go down to that 4-man rotation, although as we saw, everyone's on a cold streak right now and our pitching staff, which isn't great.
Count is 3-2.
Count runs full for Reynolds. Ooh, look at that. No, or shall I say don't look at that run average with runners in scoring position for Fink. It's pretty ugly.
Nope. Ball 4.
Reynolds will walk his way to first base. Fink, over 30 home runs now. Back-to-back seasons.
That's a ball.
Like that sidearm.
1-0.
Let's see if Fink can improve that average with runners in scoring position here. 0 for 4 today. He hasn't been all that good in September. Like every game we've watched, he hasn't been very good in. Although we haven't actually watched him with an at-bat until this one right here.
Ball, that's off the plate.
Billy Rat Fink. Am I missing the meaning behind that nickname? Rat. You're going to have to explain that one to me. This is a chopper. Not the best September for Billy. Or at least, again, from the games that we've watched. And the Pirates are victorious 7-6. Jazz Chisholm homers in this one. Been our best player this year, even over Billy Fink. As evidenced by his MVP rankings. Billy Brower has had a better September than Billy Fink. That's good for Billy. Old gangster movies, got it. So the Pirates finish at 96 and 66. We actually, our record dipped from last year. We won 99 games last year. So this is the first time in our rebuild that, oh, what the heck just happened? That our win total went down from the previous year. But obviously still very good. We don't yet know who we'll be facing, but let's go ahead and take a final look at where people ended up with stats-wise on the year. Paul Skeens, 185 innings for us. His highest ERA since 2026. Fink is no Neil Dorsey. Well, that's for sure. Nobody's Neil Dorsey except for Neil Dorsey, to be fair, though. If you're holding him to Neil Dorsey, I think whoever you're comparing will come up short. If you're holding him to more Rafael Murillo, who wasn't drafted generationally, but he ended up with 99 potential, we can have a conversation there. Murillo was a much better defender, but Fink's like faster. Your generation second base hit 237. About one rookie of the year. Still good. So ultimately, September was kind of rough because he entered the episode with a higher OPS than he did last year. So Billy Fink, at least, not all Billies, but Billy Fink, a little bit of a rough rough end of the year. Clase ends up dropping an overall. That would be his only blown save of September, the one that we watched. 51 saves. And as we saw, he was the favorite for reliever of the year when we watched. I imagine that will end up being the case. Jared Jones' numbers got worse in September as well, but still his best season as a Pirates pitcher. So not regretting even in the slightest giving him that contract. Mitch Keller did Mitch Keller things. In fact, he did Mitch Keller things at even higher rates than he's done in previous years. Jazz. He had to go down this year because he's been playing above his potential for 3 years now, since he had that awesome 2027. But this year is pretty much in line with what he did for us in 2027. Same amount of home runs. OPS is pretty much identical. His average was a little bit worse this year, but Jazz Chisholm, man. Love him. Nice to see David Yan end the year on a hot streak. He ends up over 253. He had like minus contact versus lefties, so we got rid of it, which is nice to see. Really solid across the board defender, and that 85 discipline really helps him. He's one of our best against lefties. I wish the clutch was a little higher, but you can't have great everything here. Thomas Coyle ends his rookie season pitching 177 in the third innings, 19 wins to 6 losses, 3.25 ERA, 1.18 WHIP, 15 quality starts, and a 2.6 WAR. Need to put the ratings wheel back on the roster page. Yeah, it was certainly a nice convenience to have. Although I would usually probably click in anyway because this is where it shows you the pluses and the minuses, but still. Hard to compare a man to a Cy Young and Hank Award finalist. Yeah, Hank Aaron Award finalist and X amount of MVP and leads the MLB in like every stat when he retires. Brian Reynolds continues to go down. So his clutch is down to 95, which is still obviously very good. This is actually his highest OPS of the rebuild. So despite the fact that he was going down and he hit 9 fewer home runs, he was just better. Yeah, I mean, Dorsey is absolutely insane. He didn't retire until he was like 40 or something. And he was hitting dingers every year until then. Well, yeah, that's true, Paul. I think they got better at it this year, though, I will say. But like Jazz Chisholm's wasn't age related; it was potential related. Because as you can see, he was down to 89 overall, but his potential is only B, which means his potential is 89. So his overall has been higher than his potential for 2 years now. And eventually it just catches up to you. Even if you're hitting well, this game will eventually pull you down to your potential. 10 years MLB service time, they start to drop heavy. Yeah, I don't know what the exact formula is because I feel like it's some guys go down earlier than that, some don't. Robles, not as good for us this year. I was hoping for more of what I saw last year when we re-signed him. Didn't get it, although we did get his career high in home runs at 19. So, Sweeney missed some time for us, so the total numbers won't nearly be as impressive, but also just wasn't as good when he was playing either. Trillo will be a backup for us. Joe Adell. He will be a free agent in the offseason. And he was better for us this year than he was last year. I don't know if I'm planning on bringing Joe Adell back, but I'd say our investment in him, the risk that we took, ended up working out decently well for us. Yeah, I always got to hope that people can bounce back from injury, that's for sure. Shamar Johnson ends up ending on a hot streak and ends with an average of 285 and OPS above 800 this year for us. 14 homers, got a triple up in there. Brought home 47 runs. Kingman struggled. He ended the year as a backup for us in the outfield. Bay, it looks like, ended up passing easily for us. So Pete Good ended up starting 5 games. He's good. And I know it's punny because his name's Good, but this guy's just good. It's just the reality of the situation. And that's where the team ends up. Some of our top prospects. So Robinson Brown, this is where we don't get to see his stats, unfortunately. But this is where his ratings ended up. His arm strength past the 50 mark, which is like the minimum I wanted him to reach before he got called up. He's there now. He's going to be a good fielder. He'll have good range. And he'll hit for decent contact. I wish for a guy that was only contact, his clutch was higher, though. Not a perfect prospect by any means, but one that's, if we don't bring back Adell, Brown's our center fielder next year. You know what I mean? Robert Eckert. 15 at-bats. He hit 200. Could move him to first base later. Who are you talking about? Robinson Brown? That's the thing. Like, his speed and fielding I like. I'd probably move him to the left if we found like a center fielder that I really liked. Giancarlo Nivar gets 5 to his walks per 9 he needed. His strikeouts per 9 is up to 93. He's ready. Velasquez, he's just going to have to wait. I mean, it took forever for Paul Good to get a chance. But really great development. Plus 8 walks per 9 this year. That's really, really awesome. Because he needed it a lot. Velasquez is awesome, man. If our pitching staff wasn't so loaded, I'd be even more excited about him than I am. Like a guy like Tito Tejada, man. He's 20 years old. He's 71 with big potential. When's that guy going to play? That was primary pitch is a slider, too. I kind of forgot about that. Ray Drake's just never going to make it. Ray Drake was a year 1 draft pick. He's 24 already. He still hasn't passed 70. People are asking about our Mackenzie McCarty. He's up to a 66 now. There you have it. That is our team this year. Let's go ahead. Awards. Delivery Man of the Year award goes to Emmanuel Clase. That signing has worked out for us in a major way. NL Rookie of the Year, Thomas Coyle. That pick has worked out for us in a major way. And those are our winners. We got 3rd place in MVP for Jazz Chisholm. Third place in Cy Young for Thomas Coyle. First place there and there, of course. We knew that. Third place for David Young. Oh, he ended up with an error. I think if he ends up not with an error, he wins this. At the 9th hour, the man gets an error in September, late September. Second place for Silver Slugger, DH behind Shohei. That's a tough one to win. Ian West Shohei at 34 now. Jazz Chisholm. I think he was behind Austin Riley, I guess. Can't even win Silver Slugger. Billy Fink, third place, Silver Slugger. So we don't get any Gold Gloves or Silver Sluggers. That's kind of surprising. Carson Williams is an awesome prospect. Fun guy. League leaders. Thomas Coyle led the league in wins at 19, and Emmanuel Clase led the league in saves at 51. Billy Fink led the league in doubles at 45. Ronald Acuna hit 333 this year. I love Ronald Acuna so much in real life. Just came back, started hitting homers immediately. Big time. Is he... No, yeah, he was just a free agent last offseason, I remember now. But depending on how the postseason goes, I'm going to end off the stream with this. I've been thinking about if we don't win the World Series this year, we are the best team in baseball. We were ranked... Oh, it doesn't say it anymore, but we were ranked number 1. If we can't get past the Dodgers, we actually will play the Dodgers probably if they beat the Mets. We'll see who we'll be facing off next time. I want to leave some intrigue. Will we get a rematch against the Mets, or will we get the Dodgers? I feel like that's win-win. Either opponent, I'm super excited to face, but I do want to beat the Dodgers to get to the World Series. If we end up playing the Dodgers and lose, I think it's time to make like the big splash free agent signing. It would take 2 of our outside asset slots, so we'd have to move some stuff around. Joe Adell being a free agent would already take care of one of those for us. We'd have to move some stuff around. But who would be the final piece to push us over the top to beat the Dodgers, assuming that we lose to them this year? Again, if we win the World Series this year, I'm not going to go out and get a big splash free agent signing. And I was thinking about what position would I want. And I think it would be shortstop, because if you look at this team, I think the worst position is second base, long term. Triolo is pretty much maxed out, and I think Tamar Johnson is matched out. And the reason I can tell you is if you sort by potential, Triolo's is above Tamar Johnson's. And I'm pretty sure Triolo's maxed out. So that means Tamar Johnson is not going to get that much better. So if we move Billy Fink back to the position he was drafted, which I think ultimately is going to be his best thing. I don't think his fielding is what I want long-term at shortstop. We tried it, and he's hit really well there, but I think we could do better defensively there. There are 2 impending free agents at shortstop. One is Bo Bichette. Not so much of a power hitter, but good contact, great clutch, solid fielder. Better than Fink, but not a great fielder. Another guy that is a free agent this upcoming offseason is Elly De La Cruz. The Reds have failed him. They have not done anything around him. He's a great defender, awesome speed. Against right-handed pitching, he has great power. And lefties, not so much, but we made a similar bet with Jazz Chisholm, and it worked out. I'd have to make some moves to make it legal. We'd have to get rid of one of our outside assets, which is probably going to be Victor Robles. So it would cost us Victor Robles and Joe Adell in the outfield to be able to sign him. And who else? Who knows what else? Because also we're kind of cash strapped because we're forced to play under the competitive balance tax by our owner. I might sign Elly De La Cruz in the offseason if we don't win the World Series. If we can't get past the Dodgers or even the Mets. If we lose to either of those teams in the first round, I'm probably going big star hunting. And if not, I might even go for a trade or something. I don't know. We'll see, though. Ultimately, I'd be even more happy if we just won the World Series this year with the team and I didn't have to go big star hunting. But didn't O'Neal Cruz hit a 20? Yeah, it was like 122.9. It's crazy. Just letting you guys know, if we don't win the World Series this year, I'm probably going for Ellie to be the final piece of the rebuild. Unless I get a ton of negative feedback, but it looks like chat's down for it right here. That's all I've got here for this stream. Hope y'all enjoyed it. We went about an hour and a half today. I should really stream more often, and I mean to. I like the fact that this is the second stream only for Pirates franchise. I try to do like maybe one a year. But the way I do members-only content means I can't really stream before the draft because I need to make a video like every week during the first couple months of the season. Almost made a trade for Ellie with Tampa Bay. We'll see. Again, if we make the World Series, or maybe even if we're like one game away. Actually, no, if we don't win the World Series, I'm going to go star hunting because I feel like year 6 has to be the year. But anyway, that's all I got for the stream. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like if you haven't already. It really helps me out a lot. We'll be back with postseason baseball against the Mets or the Dodgers. Both awesome matchups. And I'll see you then.